Hi guys, how are you? Happy Friday. Friday is my favorite. That means no alarm clocks for my kids tomorrow, but they'll probably still get up at the crack of dawn. I just don't have to get up. That's what's so amazing. Hey Angela. I have been getting so many questions. Hey Ashley. So many questions about what it is that I do and like how I got started and all of that good stuff. So I thought I would come on and just share it with you guys. Haley's in the house. Hey girl, I'm so excited. I am so excited for your new business, Haley. I'm proud of you. Okay, so I am just going to get right into it. So I've been getting so many questions, so I'm just going to start probably from the beginning. I mean, you have to start from the beginning. My beginning is like five years old maybe. When I was in elementary school and all my friends, you know, they ask you what you want to do when you grow up. And all my friends are like doctor, lawyer, nurse, teacher, firefighter, like all the normal things like that kids want to be when they grow up that are awesome things. It says I have low connection. I hope I don't lose you guys. Thanks, Haley. Okay, so I never wanted to be any of those things. I always dreamed of like something really big. I mean, since the time I can remember, I wanted something just really big. And so I always said, I'm going to be a singer. Not that I'm like Carrie Underwood or anything like that. It was just something that I enjoyed doing that I thought would give me those really big aspirations and dreams, right? Hey, Mom! My mom's on here. So fast forward to, I don't know, when I got my first job, I started working at Buffalo's Cafe. It was a restaurant near my house. It was it was probably like the most popular restaurant in my hometown. And I worked there. I started there when I was 15 years old. And it was so fun. I absolutely loved it. By the time I was 18, I started bartending. And then when I was 19, I was like the main bartender. You guys, I thought I was like the stuff. Okay, I'm not going to cuss on Facebook. But I thought I was all that in a bag of chips. Okay? All my friends were going to college and like working and making, you know, trying to make ends meet. And I was making like 4 or 5 times the amount they were making. And I thought I was like the cool kid on campus. You know what I mean? And so I thought I had it all figured out. And I did go to college, but I didn't finish because I never knew what I wanted to be when I grew up. I would start a new major and I was like, this doesn't really fill my cup. This doesn't really make me happy. I'm not going to do that. So then I'd quit and I'm like, I'm just going to keep working. And then the next semester I'd be like, okay, this is it. This is what I'm going to do. And I'd start a new major and I would go for like 3 weeks or a month and then I would drop it and be like, nope, that's not what I want to do. So I did that for a couple years and nothing seemed like what I wanted to do. And so when I was like 21, 22, a lot of my bar guests, my customers, they talked me into being a real estate agent. Hey, Shelby. So that back then, like the real estate market was like booming. It was like at an all-time high and everybody was a real estate agent. So my customers convinced me I would make the greatest real estate agent in all the land and I would be so amazing. So I went and I got my real estate license and I did that for a couple years and it was not anything like I had ever imagined. Hey, Lindsay, I miss your face. So the company I worked with, so right after I got my real estate license, like I swear, like 6 months later, that's when the whole market crashed and everything was like foreclosures. So the company I went with, where all the people I knew were working, we specialized in foreclosures. So I would go in to homes, I'm not even kidding you guys, and I would have to give my assessment or my evaluation and turn it into Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae and all the government foreclosure agencies. And I would get paid for these reports or whatever. And of course I sold homes too. But I would go into these houses, you guys. I'm not even kidding. I would never know what to expect. The urine smell, the pet urine smell, would be so bad that I would literally have to run in like this. Hold my nose for hold my breath, hold my nose for 30 to 60 seconds, write some notes and run back out and gasp for air. Then I'd go back in and run upstairs and do the same thing. And I'd come out. And you guys, that happened more times than not. The homes that I went to, I never knew what I was going to find. I got fleas one time from going in. I had to cut the grass at one of my listings, and there was a snake in the yard that almost bit my leg. I'm telling you, it was a living hell. I hated every second of it. And it was not just pulling up in your Mercedes and showing the homes I thought, right? That's what I thought. I'm I'm going to sell real estate and I'm going to have the Mercedes and just sell these luxury homes. No, that's not what happened. I'm not saying it's not a good profession. I have so many friends that do it and they kill it, and it's a great profession and they have so much success. I'm just saying, for me, it was not at all what I thought it was going to be, and I didn't enjoy it. I was doing it because everyone else thought I should, so I'm okay, I'll do that. Oh, thank you, Hannah. And honestly, I still had my job that I started when I was 15. I had worked at that company forever, and it was my comfort zone, and I actually really loved that job. So it made it really easy to be no, I don't think I'm going to do that anymore, because I got this over here that I make good money at. It's super fun. There's no stress. The hours are great. And I'm just going to go do that, right? So I did that until I had kids. Well, I did that after that. But, thanks, Carrie. So I really did love that. I loved bartending, you guys. It was such a fun job. And I thought, hey, when you're 20 years old, you're I got this. You don't worry about what you're going to do when you're 50, right? So I kept doing that until, I don't know, my daughter was 2 probably. But anyways, back it up. I knew when my son started playing sports that it wasn't going to work anymore, because I was going to miss all his games because they played during the week, right? At night. And that was not going to work. How was I going to be a mom and still do this and earn an income for my family? So I really struggled trying to figure that out. I ended up getting another job at a country club, and that job was fun, but here I was at my comfort zone, so I stayed there, you guys. So then, listen to this. Listen how crazy this is. So then I was working Tuesdays and Thursdays at a country club from 8 o'clock in the morning till 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I would just go to my bartending job at night from 5 to 11. So I was working 16-hour days for 2 days a week, and then I never saw my son. So why did I do that? I don't know. I was just trying to figure it out. And so in the meantime, I was trying to find my place in life, and back then, that's when everybody did embroidery. Do you guys remember that? When everybody did vinyl and embroidery and everyone still does vinyl, but you just saw all these boutiques online. So I was okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to own my own business. I am leaving these jobs. I'm going to have my own embroidery business, and I'm going to sell clothes on Facebook. So I did that. And it was fun getting the sales and doing the marketing, but you didn't make any money for your time. So at that point, I was doing the 2 bartending jobs And then, hey, Mindy McLean. And then I was doing that at night when I got home till like 3 in the morning. What in the heck, right? That didn't make sense. So my husband, who, God bless him, he was like, this makes no sense. You're not going to be an entrepreneur doing this. You're not going to have the success you think you're going to have. Like, it just doesn't add up. Like, if you make $10 on the shirt you make, like, think about how many you have to sell of those in 1 week and make of those to actually make the money you think you're going to make. But being the dreamer that I am, I'm like, no, I'm not going to listen to you. He supported me. He let me fail and fall flat on my face, which is really good for me. That's the best way I learn. I have to like fall flat on my face to learn that it doesn't work. And that's okay. So, I hated that. I hated it. At first it was fun. And then I was like, this is terrible. This is terrible. I'm up till 3 o'clock in the morning. What am I even doing this for? I made like $50 this week, like doing all these orders and doing all this stuff. Like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done. So I stopped doing that, and that's okay. I think the more times you fail, the more success you're going to have. So it's okay to be a risk taker and just go for it. I don't regret that at all. I love learning that about myself. And so luckily for me, in the meantime, I had, right after I had my daughter, I had seen a friend of mine selling some crazy mascara on Facebook. I ended up getting the $99 kit because I wanted all the makeup. And so I was really just doing that for me because I didn't like the way I looked anymore and I didn't feel pretty. You know, when you become a mom, you kind of lose yourself. And I really just did that for me. I was like, I want to get myself back, you know? I didn't feel good about myself. And so that was just like my little thing I did for me. Now, I had a big network. I knew everybody in my town. So I did have a really good little retail network. And that was just like my fun little hobby that I did for like a year and a half while I was trying to figure out what I wanted to be in life. And so my husband always encouraged me to pursue that, but I was like, yeah, I don't know. That's just like a side thing. Like, people don't really make money on that. Like, and even though I was making like hundreds, sometimes more than that, I can't say how much, but you know, 4 figures a month, some months just from selling my makeup. And I'm like, oh yeah, but that's just like my fun thing, you know? And I didn't really take it seriously at first. And he always encouraged it. I don't know why I didn't see it, but that's okay. It's a part of my story. So when I was working the 2 bartending jobs and I was pregnant with my daughter, luckily for me, the restaurant I worked at forever since I was 15, the owner got ill and he had to sell it. And so he sold out, and the CFO of our whole corporation of Buffalo's Cafe ended up buying our store. So he asked me to like do the marketing for Buffalo's and like be the face of our storefront, the one like our home location, and do like outside sales. And that was like a dream come true. I made my schedule. It was freaking awesome. It was awesome. I loved it. So I got to quit the bartending jobs and I was just doing that. It was so fun. I loved the marketing. I loved the freedom of it and making my own schedule, and it blew up really fast. I was to the point where I had booked like different jobs like every single day of the week, and I was, you know, selling outside stuff and events, and before you knew it, like I was gone morning, noon, and night because I was like at PTA meetings trying to get outside sales and set stuff up like spirit nights. And I was at recreation departments doing the same thing. During the day, I was like getting the sales and going to the businesses and making relationships with schools and stuff like that. So it went really fast and it was really great. But it became where I was not just the salesperson anymore. They weren't properly staffing all these events that I was selling. And so I would go in to make sure everything was going right, and it was not. So before you know it, I'm like cooking all the food. Like I'm dressed up in my, because I'm doing sales, outside sales. And I'd go in at 7 o'clock in the morning, and before you know it, I'm like behind the line cooking and like doing everything, you guys. Like not at all what I had signed up for. And so they just kept promising, oh my gosh, we're going to staff it. It's going to get better. It's going to get better. And it never did. And that's okay. That's okay. It never did. So I fulfilled my obligations. I did that for like 3 years. And then the last year, it got so bad that I realized that I just couldn't do that anymore. And what really was a wake up moment for me is when I went, so my son had his Christmas party at school, and I made my own schedule, so of course I'll be there. Like I will be at your party, right? But crap hit the fan at work. I had sold a bunch of jobs that day, and they weren't being taken care of properly. So that 30-minute window when I was supposed to leave and go hang out with my son, I didn't get to go. And so when I picked him up from school, he cried the whole way home, and I'm trying not to cry thinking about it. So he cried the whole way home, and he was like, Mom, you said you would be there. I didn't think I'd get emotional, guys. He was like, Mom, you said you would be there, and you weren't. And, I kept waiting and waiting, and every other parent was there, but you weren't there. And you guys, that sucked. That sucked. And I realized I was making all these other commitments to my job and everyone else besides the people that meant the most to me, my family, my husband, my kids. They were missing out on time with me because I was fulfilling obligations for everybody else. And so that day I told him I would never, ever, ever miss anything that was important to him ever again. And I can say that I haven't. I decided to fulfill all my contracts that I had with the schools and fulfill all my obligations I already had set. And then the following May, so that was in December, the following May, I walked away from my comfort zone, my safety net, the job I had had since I was 15 years old with the same company. The CEO, I was working right underneath him, and I walked away from it all, and I never looked back, and it was the best decision I ever made in my whole entire life besides marrying my husband. Seriously. And luckily for me, my little retail fun makeup business, when I started treating it like a job and really putting hours in and helping people learn how to do what I did, it became so much more. And it's turned into my dreams. Like I'm living everything I ever imagined that I could do. Since the time I was a little girl, I'm doing everything that I ever wanted to do. And it's just so amazing. I know people think that, we sell the best makeup in all the land. And I mean, we do. It is the best makeup in all the land. If you've ever tried it, But really what I do is I help other women find their confidence and find their light and find their way and make a way for their family. I coach 300 women, and they're amazing. And they have dreams, and I help them find their confidence and reach their dreams. Find their dreams. Stay home with their families. And be the person that God created them to be. I get to help people do that. And so it's the most fulfilling thing I've ever done. I'm living my purpose. I am the person God wanted me to be. I am living my passion. I am living my purpose, and I've never been happier or more on fire about anything that I've ever done in my life. So if you feel like you're on that hamster wheel of life and that you're stuck and you're not happy and you're not really going to where you want to go, I know a lot of people, okay? I'm not saying what I do is going to be the answer for you, but I'm saying I can probably help you find something that's going to make you happier, okay? Because life is too short. You have to find your passion. You have to find your joy. You have to find your purpose. You were made for so much more, okay? So I encourage you to go find your dream, whatever it is. And if you want to ask me any questions about anything, not even just what I do, I'll help you find your dreams, whatever it is that you're trying to pursue, because that's what I love. That is me living my best life, helping people find their passion. So that is all. I actually have to go do some mommy duties. So thank you. Thank you for listening in. I hope you all have the best weekends ever. And I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.